without further ado, we got the Run Cam 5 on here, and we're gonna go ahead and alright guys, so I'm just gonna go ahead and narrate this flight. This was the first time trying to launch this with the GymFan 6042 prop, and with that 5200 milliamp 3S lipo in the Run Cam 5, it just did not have enough thrust to get it going. So we've been in this situation before. It usually just means up the prop size by 1 inch, which we will do after this. But we do actually end up getting this one launched into the air. But yeah, this is definitely not something you want to deal with all the time. Takes a full throttle and a really good launch, and it comes real close to hitting the ground and then it takes off. So this is a classic sign that you're under propped for the weight you have, because I think that we are at like 960 grams, and with the 6-inch prop on 3S, I don't even believe we're producing that much thrust. Honestly, our thrust might have only been like 400 grams. So this will be the only flight that we have with the 6-inch prop. It does seem to fly pretty decently once you get it in the air, but if it's that hard to launch, then if you get in sticky situations, you're probably just going to crash instead of being able to easily avoid or pull up or whatever. So I'm not in the business of flying something that's risky. I don't really see the point in that, especially when I have plenty of 7-inch props. So we ended up on the next flight, we're going to put the 7042 prop on there. But I think that we don't put the camera on. We'll have to see when it gets to the next video. But it does fly perfectly with the 7042, and I ended up ordering some of the GymFan 7035 long range props that are more lightweight. They're lightweight and more less aggressive on the pitch, and it works out perfectly with that prop. So I will definitely have to get, actually I do have a couple of videos running that 7-inch prop. We'll probably add them into this video. But the Zod Nano Talon Evo, I can highly recommend this plane, whether you're a line of sight flyer and you just want something to fly, you know, that flies good, or if you're an FPV enthusiast. This is a good all-in-one plane. I think flying it on 3S to me is, I want to say, ideal. I feel like when you put 4S on here, this thing it's really fast. But if you want to get a good flying plane and not have to worry about battery time, with this 5200 milliamp pack, you have at least 40 minutes of flight, at the very minimum 40 minutes. But I'm gonna say, if you really push that pack down to your 3.5 per cell, yeah, you can easily have a 60-minute flight with this thing. I mean, you will probably land this well before you run out of battery on this. So Banggood has this Nano Talon Evo for $109, and then like $5 shipping or something. It's like $115 shipped to your door. You cannot beat that, and that's the plug and play. All you have to do is put in a receiver. Now, I always recommend people to put the Zod Copilot in here. I mean, unless you're a guy that has flight controllers, yeah, a flight controller would be perfect too. But I recommend putting the Zod Copilot Lite because of a few things. You have the auto launch, where you can throw it and it will launch its, take off and go up to the altitude by itself. Or you also have the return to home. I was flying the other day and the sun was super bright, and there was another propeller plane flying above overhead. So I'm looking at that propeller plane and I'm looking at my plane. Well, I ended up losing sight of my plane because it's only 860 millimeters. So if you take your eyes off of this plane for too long, you can lose it in the sky if you're flying at a decent altitude. And yeah, I ended up losing the plane, or at least losing sight of it. So I just flipped the switch and hit the return to home, and about 4 or 5 seconds later, you hear it, speeding back to you. So I highly recommend spending your little 40-50 bucks on that Zodco Pilot Lite, and then putting your S-Bus receiver onto that, and having the oh crap switch that will, hey, I lost sight of it, I don't even remember where it's at, I can't find it, and then hit that switch and bring it back to you with no issues. And then once it's back in your visual, you can switch it back and start flying it again. So this plane flies super well. It's one of the planes that I always have in the trunk that if I ever want to go flying, it is definitely one that I will grab and fly. So we tried at launch again, and we have no success. It's just there's too much weight and not enough thrust with that 6-inch prop. So if you're gonna run a big 3S 5200, you're gonna need a bigger prop on this stock plug and play setup. Now, if you run a little battery, run like a 3S 2200 or something like that, then I think you can get away with not having to switch the prop if you run a lighter weight. But to me, considering the 3S 5200 milliamp hard pack is like 20 bucks, it's kind of a no-brainer to just put that pack in there and fly. And basically, you don't have to worry about running out of battery. I mean, unless you're gonna fly for an hour straight, which I don't think I've ever flown for an hour straight, but if you are gonna do that, this battery will handle that. Or if you want to fly for 10 minutes, land and watch your buddy fly, and then power this thing back up and fly again, that's the great thing about having these big packs, is you can land it, watch your buddy fly, usually your battery will regain a little bit of power on its own, and fly again and never have to worry about, do I need to charge or anything like that. So we finally accepted defeat with the 6-inch prop, and we are heading to the car to put the 7-inch prop on. Alright guys, we're back at it again, and this time the 7-inch prop on the back, because it was hard to launch with a 6-inch prop, so maybe this will be easier to launch. We're gonna find out right now. Alright guys, so here is our second flight. We still have that same 3S 5200 milliamp lipo in here, which I really like this setup. It gives it enough weight that if you are looking the background, you can see that this plane is flying actually pretty sturdy. We have 10 to 15 mile per hour wind gusts on this day, and you can't even really tell that it's gusty out, because it has enough weight that it's cutting through the air really nicely. This is the GymFan 7042 prop. I do end up switching this to a GymFan 7035 long range prop that's a little bit slimmer and lighter weight for a little bit more efficiency. But yeah, either that 7035 or a GymFan 7042, both of those props are great to use. Stay away from 3-bladed props, because 3-bladed props don't really work well in my opinion. I've tried 3-bladed props, and to me it seems like using a 2-bladed prop is the best all around for performance and efficiency. we do a short flight on this one. I just wanted to make sure that I could launch easily, and yeah, it definitely launches a lot easier with the 7-inch prop. The 6-inch prop, it was, I mean, you basically got off the ground by luck with that 6-inch prop. Now, another thing I want to touch on, if you want to use 4S on this stock plug and play setup, then yes, if you're running 4S, you can use the stock 6x3 prop, or what I like to use is the GymFan 6042. It's a little bit more aggressive. I would use that on the 4S, but I would not use a 4S and a 7-inch prop together with the stock ESC. The stock ESC is pretty small, and the motor is more efficiency driven than power driven. So I think if you were to run a 4S and a 7-inch prop on the stock plug and play setup, you're probably going to cook the ESC and the motor. So make sure that when you are using the 7-inch prop that you are running 3S. That way you're not worried about burning the ESC out or overheating the ESC or any kind of failure, because if the ESC overheats in flight, it will cut all of the power to your your plane. You're not going to have servo function. I mean, everything will be cut. So you definitely don't want to overheat or overdo the stock plug and play setup. I highly recommend the stock plug and play setup on a 3S, just because it's not the strongest motor on the back, and it's definitely not the strongest ESC. So 3S, and then put a 7-inch prop on the back, 7-inch bi-blade, and you are good to go. I think that is going to be the overall best performance and efficiency setup.
That was at 3.7.
Yeah. Oh, you could have went more. You can bring it down to 3.7
on all of them.
Yeah, you could have went down to 3.5. But all right. Here's the Talon.
There you go.
Yep. This is the one I was saying you guys should get, because it was only like $109 for the plug and play. You just throw your own receiver in, and it's a great flying plane.
Hey, can I open the back of your trunk and sit in?
Yeah. All right, guys. This is another flight with the Nano Talon Evo plug and play kit. We got the GymFan 7035 long range prop on here this time. We're still running with the 3S 5200 milliamp lipo, and we have the RunCam 5 on the top. And as you can see, it's doing really, really well. I think our wind today wasn't that bad. Maybe 12 mile per hour gust, but usually like a 5 mile per hour constant breeze. So I mean, I'm very, very happy. I mean, for $109, like, what are you going to get that flies this well and for this long, a 50-minute plus flight time capability on this thing for $109? All I really need to do on this one is put the VTX on it, and I can use the RunCam 5 as an FPV camera, and I might try to see if I can find something so that I can put the RunCam 5 on a 10 servo. I think that would be sick, to be able to turn left and right, and I think the recording quality of this is amazing. This $100 camera is really good. Can't complain about that. But I ended up talking Bernie into ordering one of these planes, so we're gonna have 2 of these planes. Well, actually 3 of them, because my son also has a Nano Talon Evo. So maybe in the spring/summertime, we'll all be out here, and we'll have 3 Nano Talon Evos in flight. Now, if we can all get video transmitters and get these things FPV, we may be able to get some formation flights going. But I mean, this is an awesome plane, even just flying line of sight, which I'm doing now. All of these flights have been line of sight. Obviously, there's no VTX in here. And you can see just how well it flies, even flying this thing line of sight. I mean, this is just super amazing. So I can't wait to get a VTX in here. I'm having really good success with that AKK FX2 Ultimate, so I think I'm going to order another one of those VTXs. And I like using this simple dipole antenna, so I'm gonna get, I think I ordered 6 of those dipole, they're MMCX connection dipole antennas. I think I have 6 of those because they were only like $4 for 3 antennas, so I ended up ordering 2 of those 3 packs. So that dipole antenna, I mean, I'm pretty sure with that dipole antenna